What's up, everybody? I made it. I need to see if this tripod works for me. We might need to adjust somehow. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, that might work like that. Sorry. Getting crazy in here. What's up, everybody? Hold on one second. Sorry. Maybe if I turn, will it change? Okay. Come on. This guy is not working for me. What's up, everybody? It's Justin. So I'm in Thailand, and it's been crazy trying to get here today because this is now the second co-working space I've been to. So the first co-working space didn't work out because I got there and they were not open until 9:30. So they didn't have hours on the website, but it's been reviewed, like really highly reviewed as having amazing. Sorry, I'm gonna have to just pull this thing off, everybody. We might free float this one. Let's see, yeah. I might have to just do it like this. Hope that's cool with you guys. So anyway, yeah, so we had to, I got to the other location and it didn't open until 9:30. So it's, what is it now? I'm a little bit late. So it's like 9:07 or something like that right now. So here we are. This is AMA number 54, live from Thailand. And I'm also trying to be quiet because this co-working station is not very well insulated. So at some point, you're probably gonna hear some chickens. There's chickens outside, which is awesome, right? We got some chickens, that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna test roosters, crazy. I'm gonna test one more thing real quick, but let me see. I'm just trying to figure out the best way so you guys can see me because my tripod is not cooperating at all. Yes, you're hearing roosters now, let's see. Try to find the best way to do this. So this is gonna be a pretty casual one, as you can see. I'm still getting situated here. Let's see, if I do it like that, there we go, that works. So AMA number 54, live from Thailand. I haven't seen any monkeys yet, that hasn't happened. No, there's lots of roosters. So it's been badass so far. So I'm just gonna walk you guys, for 54, I'm just calling it travel tips from Thailand. So I'll just show you guys basically what I travel with and why I travel with it. We can chat about that. So the hostel situation is a little bit tricky because the hostel room is ridiculously small. It's like, I had no idea how small it was. The community areas and everything, I'll share a picture of this, but like literally the big suitcase that I brought one big suitcase and it's mostly ingestibles, stuff like this, boom, mostly stuff like that. And it literally takes up the entire room. Like it's ridiculous. It's bigger than the room. So I have to put the suitcase on the bed when I'm not sleeping so that I have like a 1 foot section to walk, and then take the suitcase off the bed and put it on the floor when I want to go to bed. So pretty crazy, but you know, it's cool. I've been here for a little over a day now. I got here at 6 a.m. yesterday and it's 9 a.m. here. So from Nashville time, I'm 13 hours ahead, which is why it's morning time and you guys are seeing me at night on your computers, which is awesome. So gotta love the internet, right? So we're gonna do this one kind of old school. I'm gonna take your comments on this Facebook Live on the phone right here. So I hope that this works for you guys. John, I am in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And again, no monkeys yet. What's up, Jackie? What's up, Steve, Cindy, John, Laura, Sam, Sean, Judy? There's a ton of you guys in here. This is awesome. All right, so let's do this one as like a real, actual AMA too, where I'll show you some travel stuff and you guys can tell me what you travel with, tell me little tips and tricks if you have them, and then I'll just open it up for questions, especially if there's any newbies here. A whole lot of plans have been happening. The products discount page, yeah, I'll just give you guys updates real quick too. So the products discount page is being updated as we speak. The I Am Clovis coupon code that you guys have for 10% off as an I Am Clovis member is loaded into the membership website. So if you go to iamclovis.com/members and you log in, if you're a member of I Am Clovis, you're gonna see a new section that I created that I believe it says Shop Clovis Discounts. And then you just click on that button and it'll tell you exactly what to do to go back to the store and get 10% off literally everything in the store. And that's good for everything. So the only thing I need to make sure of is I need to adjust it for the subscriptions, because if you have a recurring Paleo Powder subscription, there's a 5% discount built in. So all I have to do is figure out how I need to configure that to make sure that you get 10% off your subscription too. So I just need to find a way for you to lock that in, because right now, if you use the promo code for members inside of the store, it won't let you do it if you have a subscription in your cart. So that's the only thing I have to figure out. So I'm gonna figure out that, And then a new cookbook was pushed out. All the final updates for the cookbook have been pushed out. And then the product discount page is going to go up, which will have clickable links to all of the discounts that you get for all of the other brands, like some of the brands I'm going to show you here today. So you get all the discounts for that. I'm trying to think what else we have. I think that's all the updates for now. The approved foods list is getting a little bit of an update, which is basically just like a visual makeover. And if you've bought the Perfect Fasting Protocol, you're gonna get a new push out of the Perfect Fasting Protocol as well. So working on a lot of things for you guys. This is really just a way for me to work with some of these different brands, because I'm working with a lot of brands now for the I Am Clovis members, because me doing that, if I play really, really nice with them and I'm really, really nice Mr. Affiliate with them, then I can get you guys much, much better deals. And I can do things like I did with Paleo Valley, which is give you a lifetime discount of 10%. So basically you have a lifetime discount in the Clovis store, you have a lifetime discount for everything at paleovalley.com, which is fantastic. And I'm working on a couple little other ones to make sure that you get discounts for the course of your membership as long as you were a member. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I haven't had any coffee today. Can you believe that? Crazy, because I run around so much. So both of these co-working places, the first one I went to that didn't open is a coffee shop. It's a coffee shop, cafe. I was like, perfect. I'm gonna show up early. I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm gonna get some food in my system. Nope, that didn't happen. So then I had to use this little Grab Cab app and pick up another car, come out to this other workstation, got up here, could not connect on either of my devices. The laptop still won't connect in this one, but the lady downstairs was really nice, and she came up and was able to get my phone to connect. I don't know what wizardry she used, because I'm pretty tech savvy and I could not figure this stuff out. So she did it for me, so I'm connected on the phone. I think that's all we're gonna have today, so that's cool. We're gonna do mellow AMA, everybody. How you guys feeling? I need way more sleep. And I'll walk you through what I did when I got here, because I've been here for 24 hours and am well looped in and have a bunch of plans with a lot of people here in town, and networked my butt off yesterday to complete strangers that I'd never met before. And that's how you do things, right? I think the next 4 weeks I'm gonna be set up with a lot of different people doing a lot of different things, and it's gonna be beneficial for Clovis as well, because I'm already piped in with a network of online digital marketers, influencers, that kind of thing here in town, some of which I'm meeting tonight for a meeting. So let's jump in, everybody. AMA number 54, travel tips. First, I'm gonna show you all the supplements I take, because I've been getting a lot of questions about this. People have actually been sending me Facebook messages because they knew I was coming to Thailand. So it's probably gonna look like a lot to most people who don't travel with supplements. Like if I were to just do this and just show you, like these are all the things I'm gonna show you today, right? So, I mean, to an average person, probably looks like a lot. My sister always says that to me. She's like, why do you have to take so many things to be healthy? And I go, I don't have to take so many things to be healthy. I have to take so many things to be Justin, who does a lot to keep things going the way that I want them to keep my brain sharp, to keep my body sharp. I'll tell you about what I did when I got into town just to make this networking stuff happen, which I think everybody should do these things. So, all right, let's jump in, everybody. First things first, a good multi. There are not that many good multis, and I recommend the best ones to you inside of the I Am Clovis portal for the supplement section. So this is Healthy Cell Pro. I swear by Healthy Cell Pro. It's fantastic. It was actually introduced to me by my functional medicine doctor, and it's his favorite multivitamin. It's way more than a multivitamin, because it gets into like, it's just, if you were to read, I mean, the supplements fact panel, if I can show you this, like every one of those lines is an ingredient, right? And this is just taken morning and night. They come in little packets like this, so it'll show you like a morning time, and then there's a nighttime one, and you just take 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and they're separated for you, so that's super convenient. But I love Healthy Cell Pro. It's awesome. I've been on it for probably a couple years now, at least. But the tricky thing about Healthy Cell Pro is that people get upset about it because it's like $99 a month. It's an expensive product. It certainly is. I get a discount, which is nice. But it's super expensive, and I would love to see if I can work with them in some way to get you guys a discount. I can try that. That is a solid one, but I also, oh no, I don't have it here. It's in my room. Whoops, I forgot one thing, but I already showed you guys that. That is the, I talked to you about the organ complex from Paleo Valley. So I take Paleo Valley's organ complex, and then I have their Essential C complex as well. So basically when I'm traveling, I'm literally just trying to boost my immune system as much as I can. Because the thing that you have to remember is taking all these things with you, the reason that you do it is because you're not gonna be able to guarantee food quality. So if you guys follow me on Instagram at Justin Nault, you'll see, or on my Facebook, you'll see this post that I did about food yesterday. So I got into town and I had not slept in about 30 some odd hours and was basically fasted. I think I had like 2 Paleo Valley beef sticks and a serving of paleo powder during the 30 hours of travel time. So I'm essentially fasting at that point because there are so many hours in between these tiny little snacks I have. Now, I also turned down 3 different meals on 2 different Qatar Airway flights. Just not gonna do it. But the first flight, I was stuck in the middle of 2 people eating barbacoa beef, whatever, and just bread and peanuts and all the junk, potatoes, just like, it was ridiculous, right? So I'm just sitting there smelling that stuff, whatever, and you would not have believed like the way that the flight attendants were addressing this. I mean, they kept coming over, they kept checking on me, they kept pouring me water, like, have you not eaten anything? Have you, because one of the flights was 13 and a half hours. They're like, have you not eaten anything? Why haven't you eaten? Do you want this? And they gave me like some weird gluten-free sandwich. They're like, this doesn't have gluten. I was like, no, I don't want that. No, thank you. That's cool, whatever. So that was really interesting. So the reason why we travel with these supplements is because you can't guarantee food quality. So yesterday I had something called cow soy, which I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna test this out. And I went to what is supposed to be the best cow soy place in all of Chiang Mai. There was a line out the door, which I thought was a good sign, right? Because there's street food you can grab everywhere, but you wanna be kind of careful about that. So I tried this cow soy as my first meal in Thailand. It was like, just gonna get this out of the way. And it was good, delicious, cool. Not life-changing or anything. It's you know, if I'm in Italy, I'm gonna eat pasta and I'll probably try pizza, right? If I'm in Thailand, I'm gonna try a noodle dish or curry or whatever. And it was cool, it was good. But do I want it every day? No, not even close, not even a little bit. But it was good, you know. So other things I travel with. Let's talk strictly about immune boosters now. So Healthy Cell Pro, I take the Paleo Valley Organ Complex, and remember, as a member of Clovis, you get 10% off everything Paleo Valley forever. I take the Essential C Complex. And this is a little bit different because it's a whole food vitamin C. So most vitamin C's are synthetic. I would say 99.999% are synthetic. Yeah, John, I'll give you a discount, but remember, all the discounts are just for members now, so I don't throw them out. Like, I'm not just gonna put it out on the podcast and everything, right? So I keep these these discounts close to my chest. So I'll send you a Paleo Valley discount, and it'll also be up in the Clovis section of everything. It's also actually went out on the In Case You Missed It newsletter, which means you're probably not on the In Case You Missed It newsletter, John, which means you need to sign up for the In Case You Missed It newsletter, right? Still gonna be running that. That goes out every Friday. Okay, back to immune boosters. So the other one that I absolutely love, and there's 2 products from them that I carry with me just in case. Overkill? No, not at all. This is My Community by Host Defense. Host Defense is one of my favorite companies for supplements by a guy named Paul Stamets. And Paul Stamets, I think this product is now, this My Community, I think it's been turned into something called Stamets 7, which is basically the same blend. It just has a new name. They're still selling this on Amazon, but I think on the Host Defense website, it's Stamets 7 is, I think, the deal. So this is a fantastic little immunity booster. It's just this giant blend of different micronutrients from mushrooms. Mushrooms are ridiculously powerful. They are some of the most powerful things on earth. Most of the ground you walk on is actually fungi and mushrooms, mycelium, all these things. I mean, they're everywhere, and they've been with us forever. There are other mushrooms that are also very powerful. Mushrooms are pretty cool, okay? Host Defense. So the other thing that I take from Host Defense, and I'll show you this right here, it does not taste good, fair warning, but this is a MycoShield spray. Let's see if we can, be a little bit blurry, that's cool. But this is a MycoShield spray for immune support. Now, I have talked to the people at Host Defense. I've talked to a bunch of those guys. Different trade shows, we've run into each other and been able to hang out and talk and everything. They're fantastic. They're super knowledgeable. Like, the things they know about mushrooms are insane. So the Host Defense can be thought of as like a once daily in the morning. Now this, I take this like 2 to 3 times a day, especially if I'm on a plane, and you literally just spray 3 sprays on the back of your throat, and then you just swallow. That's it, right? So the way that they put it to me is that this is kind of a daily immune support every single day forever. I've been taking Host Defense every day for years and years. Now the MycoShield is particularly good when traveling, or it's one of these products that I will load up on if I feel the first hint of anything. If I feel my nose getting a little weird, or I wake up one morning with like, ooh, do I have postnasal drip, or does my throat hurt a little bit, or any of these things, I'm gonna get Myco Shield. I'm gonna spray that thing 6 times, do 6 pumps 3 times a day or whatever, and just get over whatever it is really, really quick. So Host Defense My Community, Host Defense Myco Shield is fantastic. All right, so recap. We have Healthy Cell, we have Organ Complex from Paleo Valley, we have Essential C from Paleo Valley, we have Host Defense My Community, and Host Defense Myco Shield. That's basically what I'm looking at for immune system boosters. One more that could be considered an immune system booster, because we've actually found out that that's most of the beneficial properties of probiotics are that they boost your immune system. So, and I'm gonna explain the difference. So this is what I'll take with me when traveling. This is the Just Thrive probiotic. So Just Thrive is a powerful probiotic, and it's clinically studied in a serious way. So you can search like a bunch of different clinical studies just for Just Thrive probiotic. It's really, really well studied. Just comes in capsule form, doesn't need to be refrigerated or anything, which is nice. So like Visbiome is fantastic, but Visbiome needs to be refrigerated. It's really not convenient to travel with at all. And Visbiome is probably more of an immune booster and a builder if you're consistent with it, right? So if you were to be consistent with Visbiome over and over and make sure you're feeding prebiotic and everything, you can probably get these spores to populate. But Just Thrive is made of only spore-forming bacteria. So what they mean by spore-forming is that most of the time when you put different probiotics into the system, different bacteria, you're causing reactions to happen. So you're overloading a particular strain of probiotic, which causes a bunch of different things to happen, because bacteria are responsible for everything, including generating vitamins in your system, digesting things. It's incredible, right? So it's really, really good for your immune system, but a lot of them don't actually stay in your intestines intact. They just get excreted. So they go in, they do a bunch of work, they make responses from the immune system, they do a lot of beneficial things, but then they're excreted. Some of them are left behind. So Visbiome, if you have to take like a dose of antibiotics or anything, I usually tell people to take Visbiome for 10 days straight, and that is just to get 450 billion CFU in your system every single day consistently, right? Then you're going to populate some of those healthy bacteria. So let me see, I actually don't know what the dose is on this. Yeah, so this has 3 billion CFU, okay? So compared to like a Visbiome with a 450 billion CFU, but remember, this is only spore forming, right? So with it only being spore forming, the entire idea of these is to get healthy bacteria to populate, stay in the intestines, and then hopefully populate from there and actually change the balance of gut bacteria in your gut microbiome. John, is Myco Shield safe for toddlers? I actually have no idea, dude. That's a good question. I'm sure if you reached out to Host Defense, they would know for sure. They're fantastic. Their customer service is awesome. So check that out. I don't know. I mean, I'm just not comfortable saying that. So the first thing you're going to notice when you spray it is it's alcohol. It's in an alcohol base. Your toddler's not going to like it. I assure you that. They're going to get real mad at you for spraying that in their mouth. It does not. Even for me, like, it doesn't taste good. It's just like it'd be like if you were giving them a little bit of tequila with their medicine or something. They're just going to cough and not be happy about it, right? So in terms of immune boosters, that's probably, I guess that's all I have, except for obvious things like my supplements, which is, so I have Paleo Powder. I always travel with these sample packs, but I'm almost out of sample packs, and I don't think I'm going to remanufacture more quite yet, because there's a lot happening with Paleo Powder behind the scenes, so things are changing. So these little guys probably aren't going to come out anymore, to be honest. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I'm almost completely out of samples, so I'm kind of careful with these, where I take them. So I have a 30 serving bag in my room as well. So I take a 30 serving bag with me, and I usually put it on checked luggage, because a lot of people are going to have trouble traveling with Paleo Powder like I did, because my suitcase ended up being overweight. So I had to take the Paleo Powder, even though sealed, and put it in my checked bag. You will get stopped every time. I don't know why that is, but even if your Paleo Powder is sealed, you're gonna get stopped going through TSA security checkpoints every single time. Don't know why. I have never had Paleo Powder in my carry-on and not been stopped. It happens every single time. Same goes for Redmond sea salt. I have never not been stopped for Redmond sea salt. Really, really weird, but TSA stops me every single time. So anyway, so we're going over immune system stuff. The other thing that you'll want to do to keep your immune system sharp is not put things in your system that really aren't good for you. But when that happens, I always travel with coconut charcoal. Now, I don't really have a brand preference here. I have a couple different activated charcoals with me. This is the Bulletproof brand coconut charcoal, and this is the Sports Research activated charcoal. Now, I have activated charcoal from Sports Research because they sent it to me for free. So that was cool. It's a little bit different. This is like a gel capsule, and then the coconut charcoal is more like a traditional capsule with powder inside of it. So I don't really know if there's a giant difference between them. I can check doses real quick. This has 100 milligrams additional activated charcoal. But anyway, so that's just something you could do. Like if like I had cow soy yesterday, like just to be careful, I'm gonna take a capsule of charcoal. Why? Because sure, I just ate a meal. I want my body to get the nutrients and everything, but like I know that I don't know what those ingredients are. I know I'm getting sugar. There's sugar in everything here, right? So I'm gonna use activated charcoal. If you're drinking alcohol, activated charcoal is a fantastic idea. And most of you when you're traveling are gonna drink alcohol at some point, right? I'm sure I'll drink alcohol here at some point. So activated charcoal is just something good to have on hand. And what that does is it binds to toxins and excretes them from your system. But something that you have to be careful about is keep in mind, if you have a $100 multivitamin like Healthy Cell Pro, and you take that, or let's say you go to dinner and you eat a couple capsules of Bulletproof charcoal because you're not sure about the food quality you had, don't go home and take your multivitamin. If you get home from the restaurant and then pop your night dose of your Healthy Cell Pro, that's an expensive dose of supplements that you just killed, because the charcoal is going to bind to some of the nutrients found in that Healthy Cell as well, okay? So that's not a good thing. What else we got here? Just hated it, but had to get antibiotics for Ken's. And right after we ordered VisBiome. Yeah, that's perfect. All this stuff is handleable. You know, don't feel bad about stuff. I keep telling people this too. It's like in flu season. Like, yeah, a bunch of Clovis people got sick. You know, sure, it's flu season. You get sick. It's like there's this thing that happens with Clovis where people come into Clovis and they feel so good, so fantastic, and they lose so much weight, and their life is so much better, and then they get sick, and all of a sudden you would think that Clovis is nothing, hasn't helped them at all. They're upset about it. How did I get sick? I thought I was like Justin. I thought I was Wolverine and I was invincible and blah, blah. I get sick too, everybody. It's going to happen. You know, it's kind of crazy to me that people do that. And then what they'll do when they get sick is reach for comfort foods. They're like, well, I got sick. Clovis must not have made me invincible. Guess I'll go back to Ben & Jerry's and waffles. Right? Like, what are you doing? It's just so funny to me. Consistency is everything. But you have to remember, we don't live in a Clovis world. Far, far from it. The world is against you and Clovis every step of the way. Why? Because a lot of you are nurses, or teachers, or work in offices, and the rest of those shitheads eat like assholes all day, every day, and their immune systems suck, and they're snorting and snotting and putting germs all over everything, and like, yeah, you're still Clovis, right? The rest of the world isn't. They treat their bodies like garbage. They treat their bodies as if they don't care about themselves at all. So of course, there's still gonna be influenza going around. There's still gonna be infections that you can catch, contagious infections from other people, right? The fruit-eating sugar burners of the world, you have to be around them. You just have no choice, right? There's no way to not interact with other human beings. So another reason to keep that immune system strong, which is why I love supplementing for immune system too. Now keep in mind, everything that I travel with, I take at home as well. There's probably more at home. Actually, there's a lot more at home. I have a full supplement cabinet at home. I probably take, I don't know, 50, 60 pills a day, something like that, somewhere around there. People think that's crazy. I don't. Look at me, right? I'm doing all right, everybody. All right, so let's look at other things I take. I like to carry, let's see, this one. I like to carry omega-3s, for sure. I always like to have omega-3s on hand. I am a mega doser of omega-3s. I take at least 4 grams a day of omega-3s. I really like the brand Omega Via. They were also recommended to me from a functional medicine practitioner, but my other favorite brand is Nordic Naturals. Now, with Nordic Naturals and a lot of these omega-3s, I really recommend going to the manufacturer. That's the big struggle that I have is people go grab Nordic Naturals, they'll grab it from Amazon or whatever. That's cool, but you can't really guarantee how long those things have been in a warehouse, how hot or how cold it was in the warehouse, and omega-3s can go rancid They absolutely can. They can go bad just like olive oil can go bad if you leave it in the sun in a clear bottle, right? You can make these oils go bad, and omega-3s are the same exact thing, right? So I took Omega Via with me just because it was a brand new bottle. It was sealed, threw it in my check-in, but I have Nordic Naturals at home. I have Omega Via at home. I also have an EPA concentrate. There's also a liquid form, a bunch of different liquid forms of Nordic Naturals, which are fantastic. They're great. Just to be clear, I understood correctly. The coconut charcoal is a good supplement to take. It's not letting me look at the rest of your comment. This is crazy, dude. Hold on. Good Lord. I have no idea why it's not letting me look at your comment, dude. I can't see the rest of your comment. I'm sorry. Thing. I have no idea why it's doing this. Huh. I don't know, dude. Can't see the rest of your comment. Really sorry. That sucks. Ridiculous. All right, let's go back into supplements before I throw my phone out the window. All right, so other things that I take that are just for me is, I don't know if I've ever talked to you guys about these brands, but to be clear, John, let's just say if you eat something, take activated charcoal. That's it, right? There you go. Get the toxins out of your system. So a couple things that I take with me at everywhere I go, right? Yeah, that's clear. If you eat something that you shouldn't be eating, if you ate like an asshole, take activated charcoal. That's it, man. Nice and easy. And for our Clovis Pets fans, Nordic Naturals Clovis Pets, that's funny. Good to take after bad meals and booze. Yes, 100%. Now, and the thing is, I might have a different idea of what you think bad meals are, right? Like, if you eat something with a bunch of sugar in it, I totally think you should take activated charcoal. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. So that's the thing. And then, yeah, it's the timing of it, right? So you have to keep in mind, if you're taking activated charcoal, if you take it after any meal or whatever, you need to remember what's happening on the back end there. So even as you drink, right? Let's say as you're drinking alcohol, you go out and you're gonna have 10 drinks. You should probably be prepared to take 10 capsules of activated charcoal, right? And it should be the way people take, like, I'm gonna drink a full glass of water in between drinks, right? You should probably do that with activated charcoal as well. But what I have found, what I have experimented with myself, and this is because I've done some drinking in my day, everybody, professional musician for 15 years, right? So when I first started really taking activated charcoal, really figuring out this paleo stuff back in the day, 6 years ago, whatever, when I started things like activated charcoal, I found that if I was gonna go on like a bender and have 10 drinks, 10 tequilas or something like that, taking activated charcoal in between every time, I would get really sick, really sick. Now, I am not a vomiter. I can drink with anybody and I'm not gonna get sick, right? That's very, very rare. I can count a handful of times in my life, but the activated charcoal with the alcohol, there was enough in my system that made me very, very nauseous, and sleeping really sucks when you feel like that. So just be careful. I mean, I've found that I'm not going to do more than like 3 capsules of activated charcoal. I'm just not going to, because it makes me feel so crappy on the back end. Even though I know it's doing good things, and I can feel like crappy because I poisoned myself, right? It just really doesn't make you feel awesome. Don't eat like an asshole. New t-shirt idea. Yeah, exactly. I post that everywhere because it's such a simple way to put it, and you say it and everybody knows what you mean. So we're going to talk about food here in a second. What time is it? Oh, we're doing good. All right, so I want to show you a couple of little tips and tricks that I do as Mr. Digital Marketer, Entrepreneur, Influencer, Podcaster, man with way too much to do every day. This is Siltep by Natural Stacks. So now we're getting into the world of nootropics. I don't think I've ever talked to you guys about nootropics, but I have experimented with the nootropics extensively. I've actually had prescriptions for things like modafinil and Provigil. I have experimented with nootropics in the form of powders. You can get them in bulk powders, like there's things called racetams, right? So you used to have an actual scale measuring grams on this tiny little scale, same scale that people would use for like weed, honestly. And I would use these like racetams and all these different nootropics. Now, Natural Stacks is really cool because this brand, Natural Stacks, all of their formulas are available online. They tell you what all the ingredients are in the amounts. It's open source supplements, I guess you'd call it. Literally open source supplements. They don't hide any of their formulas or anything. They don't care. People steal them. They're like, you can go make it yourself. So they're stacking different things. So this is artichoke extract, which is super powerful. If you've never taken artichoke extract, it's super potent. And then acetyl L-carnitine, which is something that I've actually taken that can enhance fat burning, believe it or not. And acetyl L-carnitine has more of the cognitive benefits. So carnitine itself plays a big role, like L-carnitine plays a big role in fat metabolism. Acetyl L-carnitine is something that just has more of the mental stimulation, cognitive effects. L-phenylalanine. So remember this, like acetyl L-carnitine, racetams, and L-phenylalanine. I used to have baggies of them in my house, and I would just weigh them on a scale, and then I would just drink them, and they taste terrible, really nasty, right? And then this is a root extract that I'm not familiar with at all, actually. Interesting. But this is Siltep. Take three capsules of this. That's a normal dose, is 3 capsules, and I mean, it's like a natural version of modafinil or Provigil, right? Nuvigil was also when I used to take it. My brain would be on hyperdrive. Okay, yeah. So Nuvigil is the slow release version of Provigil. The only difference is it's like an extended release capsule instead of getting that dose all at once. Provigil, believe it or not, is the drug that the movie Limitless is loosely based on. So Provigil is incredibly popular among like Silicon Valley investment types and startup founders and entrepreneurs and billionaires and all that. Provigil actually, for some period of time, I don't know if it still is, was prescribed to fighter jets in the military and anybody living on the space station, like living in outer space. So the government would give you these things. And all the cognitive benefits that you get from Provigil, and again, Provigil, Nuvigil, modafinil, they're all the same thing. It's just generic, slow release versus fast release, etc. But Provigil itself is, what was I talking about? The space station. Talk about the space station, right? So fighter pilots, I can't remember. But anyway, Provigil, Nuvigil, amazing stuff. You need a prescription for it. Oh, I remember. It's off-label. The cognitive enhancement is off-label. It was actually made as an anti-narcolepsy drug for people that would just fall asleep. So it was developed for narcolepsy, and then they started finding like Olympic athletes were taking it. So they're like, wait a minute, why do all these Olympic athletes say that they have narcolepsy? They've been to doctors, and like a crazy number of Olympic sprinters somehow have narcolepsy. That's weird. What a weird correlation, right? Well, no, they were getting their doctors to say they had narcolepsy so they could take Provigil, Nuvigil, modafinil, whatever. Modafinil is the generic of Provigil, right? I can't remember what the generic of Nuvigil is called, but modafinil generic, there's also a generic slow release modafinil. The problem is you could, without a prescription, no, I think even without insurance, that's what it is. If you self-pay, you're looking at about $600 a month. Even with insurance, I think the cheapest I've ever seen somebody get Provigil or even modafinil generic brand for is $60 a month. And that's with insurance. So it's quite expensive. You need a cool doctor who's going to give you a prescription for it, someone who understands that it's your body and they shouldn't be able to tell you what you put in your body anyway, because that's ridiculous. Shouldn't need a doctor to tell me what goes in my body, right? I've researched stuff. So Siltep, another one that is much more mild. And maybe you'd want to start here if you want to go down this rabbit hole of nootropics, but that's Alpha Brain by Onnit. So Alpha Brain's a pretty solid product. They've been around doing Alpha Brain now for years and years. It's like their flagship product that blew up Onnit and made them huge. So Onnit, again, it looks like it's a blend of amino acids, a couple of extracts, and yeah, huperzine A, which is something I've used extensively. I actually used huperzine A when I was exploring the world of lucid dreaming and practicing that. That's a whole other different story we'd have to do. Yep, L-leucine. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. Basically another brand of amino acids and root extracts that just keep you super, super sharp, super focused. So what I found with Alpha Brain and Siltep, which I should have taken today because I've never done an AMA in the morning like this before, especially without coffee. That's crazy. But what I've noticed is if I take Alpha Brain before, say, a podcast with like the Rob Wolf podcast that's out that everybody has to listen to, right? If I take Alpha Brain or Siltep before those, you will not hear words like and so Rob, I wanted to ask you about the book you wrote that that book you wrote that was like about paleo stuff. I can't handle people like that. I can't listen to people like that, particularly people that have podcasts, because there are some that do those things. But with the Alpha Brain or the Siltep, if you take these things 30 minutes before, sometimes I'll actually with a lot of supplements, I pop the capsules open and put them in water just because it gets in the system quicker. I don't know, just something weird that I do. But most supplements really don't taste good, so be prepared for that. Siltep's kind of weird. Siltep has like a sweetness to it when you pull it out of the capsule. It's really weird. But I really, really like Siltep. Now I'm gonna keep saying because I didn't take any Soltep or coffee or Alpha Brain. What the hell? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm so tired right now. It's pretty ridiculous. So that's about it. So we went over omega-3s, we went over the nootropic stuff, we went over immune system support, and then, I mean, I take a lot of food with me. Like you'll see, like I have, obviously grass-fed beef sticks. I brought 30 of these just for myself. So I have 30 grass-fed beef sticks. I take a lot of Wild Planet products with me. I almost always have tuna. Again, tuna will probably get you stopped on carry-on. They always want to look at tuna, I guess because it's metal or something. I don't know why, but they always want to look at my tuna. They look at my tuna, and they look at my Redmond sea salt, and look at my paleo powder. So I always have paleo powder with me. I have a 30 serving bag, like I said. And then I really like these, really like these. This is Instamix by Bulletproof. So this is basically, let's see, brain octane oil. So that's your MCTs. Grass-fed butter. It does have dextrin in it, okay? But that looks like he's using it as a resistant starch because it's called resistant dextrin on the ingredient label. Acacia gum, which is just an emulsifier, and sunflower lecithin, which is also an emulsifier. So it's kind of funny with products like this. People freak out, right? They go absolutely crazy. Steve, Siltep with a C, not an S. They go crazy, right? They're like, well, it's Dave Asprey and Bulletproof, and he's all about ingredients, and he put resistant dextrin and acacia gum and sunflower lecithin. Why would he do that? This is not a health product. Listen, everybody. This is called a convenience supplement, and there are certain things that you need to do to make certain products shelf stable, right? Resistant dextrin. You're not taking a bunch of dextrose by the spoonful and eating it. Sunflower lecithin, acacia gum, these are emulsifiers. Why? Because this is a powder and it needs to sit in water and then it needs to mix with water and not settle to the bottom of your drink. If you don't put an emulsifier in products like this, you'll shake it up in a shaker, let's say, right? I always have my Clovis shaker bottle with me. So let's say I put coffee in here and then I put this Instamix and I shake it up, sit this down. Very quickly, all the ingredients are gonna go and I'm gonna have a bunch of Instamix down here and a bunch of water. That's what emulsifiers are for, everybody. It's just a chemistry thing, right? You need these products to work the way that they're supposed to work. And all these little things, this is a 23 gram serving, right? So we have 15 grams of fat. So you're already down to 8 grams right there. Then you have 4 grams of dietary fiber. So you're already down to 4 grams right there. So you have 4 grams left that probably include resistant dextrin, acacia gum, and sunflower lecithin. So if you split them up, you're looking at a little bit over a gram of each, and that's probably not even true because it's probably a different blend. I'm just doing the math really quick off the top of my head, right? So you have to understand you're getting trace amounts of these things, trace amounts, and it's worth the trade-off. If I'm super hungry, like actually I had one of these on the plane, right? I got really hungry on the plane and was like, okay. And I said, excuse me, stewardess, can I get a black coffee? Gave me a black coffee, poured this in, stirred it up, boom, Bulletproof coffee on the go. It's amazing. I did a video of this when I was in New Orleans as well. I can hunt down that video and share it in the show notes links, just showing you how I use it. So I travel with beef sticks, I travel with tuna, I travel with instant mix, I travel with paleo powder, obviously, always, duh. And I always travel with Redmond sea salt. Now, I brought the big bag just because it was sealed, and I had it in my checked bag, so that was awesome. But usually I might just have like even just a little shaker and I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, but that's if I'm gone for like a week or something. I'm also here, I know, for at least a month, which means that I needed the big boy. And that's fantastic just for staying hydrated and everything. So I was super dehydrated yesterday. So I'll walk you through some travel stuff unless you guys have any questions about those supplements. So I know Steve's gonna look up Siltep. Siltep has a boatload of supplements. So I mean Natural Stacks. Natural Stacks is a boatload of supplements, not just Siltep. Tons of great stuff. Like I said, it's all open source supplements. So you can see all their ingredients. You can see what amounts the ingredients are in and all that. That's really cool. I like that. I don't think there's a lot of companies out there doing open source supplementation because everyone's afraid of this guy's gonna steal my formula and he's gonna do this and that with it. And if you've already established yourself in the market, the odds of that happening are slim to none, right? All right, what else we got? Let's see. All right, we're back up to don't eat like an asshole. That's awesome. So yeah, so I wanted to walk you guys through some travel tips, especially if you're doing any kind of long-term travel or you're in a different country or even in a place where you don't know anybody. So I'll just tell you what I did yesterday. And I showed up at 6 a.m. Oh, jet lag. We should talk about jet lag. Let's talk about jet lag real quick. So a couple cool things you can do for jet lag. One, I'll show you another supplement because I know I have it here. Let me open this bag real quick. So this is another one that I get from Onnit, and this is melatonin. Boom. So Onnit Melatonin, this is a spray that works just like the MycoShield. I'm obviously not going to spray this right now because it's first thing in the morning and I don't want melatonin pumping through my bloodstream right now. But melatonin is a funny one because people freak out about it. It's so silly. This is another thing that happens with Clovis is because we're all in Clovis and we talk about whole foods and everything, people think I'm anti-supplements or anti-medicine or anti-hormone replacement or whatever. No, that's ridiculous. I'm not anti any of those things. I optimize all the time. I love science and I love all of these brands. They're fantastic. All I'm saying is when it comes to food, eat whole foods. Duh. Supplements are meant to be put on top of the perfect things you're already doing. Supplements supplement the perfect things we're already doing. Think about it like that. If you eat Burger King every day, you can take all the same supplements that I do and you're not going to do anything like me. Not going to happen. You're not going to do physical things like me. You're not going to do mental things like me. It's not going to happen. Travel supplement list. Yeah, I can throw that together. Okay, so jet lag. What you want to do, and this is what I did leading up to this, and I feel fantastic, like totally fine. I slept like a baby last night for 7 hours. I wanted a lot more sleep than that, but I'll explain. So melatonin, if used correctly, people freak out like, you're going to diminish your natural melatonin production. No, that's not true. You'd need to do like 600% more than a normal dose of melatonin. So if you're popping melatonin 5 at a time, taking 20 grams, and you're trying to use it like Ambien, you're going to mess some things up, right? But we're talking about doses between 1 to 3 grams. That's it, sometimes even less, okay? And I'm going to explain that to you. So what I did is, I'm trying to remember, it's a 13-hour difference. 13-hour difference from Nashville to Chiang Mai. So what I did was starting on Friday, now I went serious because that is a serious amount of time to travel east, right? So what I did was on Friday morning at around 8 or 9 a.m., I did 3 sprays of this melatonin. 3 sprays of this is 1.5 grams. So it's enough to have an impact on your system, right? But it's also not enough to sedate you or anything. You're not gonna have a terrible day or anything like that. So at 8 or 9 a.m., which would be, 8 or 9 p.m. in Chiang Mai, then I would just spray melatonin, 2 or 3 sprays, so somewhere between 1 gram to 1.5 grams, and then do that every single day. So what I'm doing is I'm supplementing melatonin at bedtime in my destination city. Does that make sense? So you understand that you want the melatonin, the natural melatonin production in your brain to happen at bedtime in the new location. So when we talk about people using melatonin incorrectly, so yeah, we'll talk about this, Sean, but when we talk about people using melatonin incorrectly, it's because these heavy doses, anytime you're supplementing a hormone, this goes for testosterone or any other, if you're a female and you're taking estrogen or anything like that, you can stunt the body's natural production of these hormones if you overdo it. Because there's a flip side to this. If you underdo it, for instance, Healthy Cell Pro has 0.75 milligrams of, let me see, I think it's 0.75. Oh yeah, I'm talking milligrams, I'm sorry, not grams. Crazy, okay. This is a 3 milligram, okay? And I think Healthy Cell has 0.75 milligrams. So the way you want to think about it is you're taking such a small amount that you're actually kicking the body's own production into gear, right? So it's getting a little bit of a boost. It's going, okay, it's time to produce this. So if we take 1.5 to 3 milligrams, let's say, of this Onnit melatonin, and I do that every day at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, my body's getting this message of like, we have melatonin in our system, and the sun's out, that's a little weird, but it's still going to happen. So you're helping your body shift, and your body's going, maybe we're supposed to be producing melatonin at this time of day. Then you have to be really careful about the sleep side of things. So my 13-hour flight, I did not sleep at all because that was the middle of the day in Chiang Mai. So I read a biochemistry book, I took notes and on my voice memos in jiu-jitsu, watched a couple of movies, an in-flight movie thing, whatever. I read 2 or 3 different books inside of my Kindle, just kind of flying through books, researching things to better serve you guys. So I made sure that I kept myself awake. I drank a lot of coffee on that flight. I had the Instamix, I had a paleo powder, right? So I was talking to the people around me and everything, just stayed awake for that entire 13 hours. The second flight that brought me to Chiang Mai was about 5 hours long, and that was like bedtime in Chiang Mai. So, dose of melatonin while I was standing in line to get onto the plane, got onto the plane, and slept the entire flight. So it was like I had about a 4-hour night's sleep. And then I got to Chiang Mai at 6 a.m., stayed up all day long. right? So stayed up all day long until normal bedtime. So that's basically the way that you can use melatonin to kind of trick your brain into producing melatonin at the time it's supposed to. So just think of it like this. And I'm sorry for mixing up dosages and talking grams, milligrams, whatever. Super tired right now. But so you want to dose your melatonin at bedtime in the new location. Now another thing that's a little hippy dippy that people do that actually works. I do it with fitness. Fitness does seem to work, but a lot of people will actually go out into nature when they get to their location, take their shoes off, and do the practice of grounding. So grounding is a whole other can of worms to get into. Some people believe in it, some people believe it's complete nonsense. It's just energy fields of the earth, etc., right? So people swear by this, like barefoot yoga in a park in your destination city for even 15 to 20 minutes, and they swear that they don't have jet lag at all. This is without any melatonin, this is without any other tips and tricks. Just get to the location that you're at and stand in the grass and ground for 20 minutes. So you can look up grounding. Dave Asprey actually has I think he has an article about grounding for jet lag, and I think Ben Greenfield talks about this as well. I can link to those in the show notes. Another thing that I have, I was like, where did this go? I'm using it as a stand for my phone. But I do bring my True Dark blue blockers with me, and I wear them on the plane. People think it's weird. I don't care, but I wear my blue blockers on the planes. That's a bunch of junk light, and you want to make sure that timing-wise, planes can be very, very bright. People have the overhead reading lights, and it's all these artificial lightings and everything. So if it's nighttime in the place that you're going to and you have all these lights on you, put those blue blockers on. Or if you're reading your Kindle or looking at a computer or anything like that, the blue blockers are going to help because you don't want all that light suppressing your natural melatonin production. So basically dosing melatonin at bedtime in the destination city. You can then do things like grounding. But what I did was jiu-jitsu. So this is something that I recommend highly to anybody who's traveling. And I was going to get into this and got sidetracked by the supplements and everything. So what I did before I got here was I joined groups in Chiang Mai. They have these digital nomad groups on Facebook. So these are basically Americans or people from other countries that are living in Thailand and working remotely. So I joined those, find one for the business side of things. It's like we're at these co-working spaces that I've had really, really bad luck with. And then other ones that's like day-to-day, what do you do for fun, where do you go, whatever. So what I did was I found a jiu-jitsu gym, like an old school jiu-jitsu gym. When I say old school, I mean like Gracie style. I fight Gracie style jiu-jitsu. So I found a jiu-jitsu school, reached out to the head instructor, chatted with him a little bit, and then when I got into town, I reached out to him again, and he said that I could come in at 6 p.m. tonight. And that was last night, okay? So Wednesday. Now, he told me this at 4 p.m. And I'm sitting there going, I slept 3 to 4 hours of crappy sleep on a plane in the last 48 hours, literally. Now, you guys know, I tell you all the time, if you have less than 6 hours of sleep, don't train that day. You absolutely do not train that day, okay? So remember that. But sometimes you gotta break your own rules. I knew that my risk of injury was literally through the roof. After all the traveling, sitting for that many hours, my mobility was probably jacked up. I had weird little aches and pains, super sleep deprived. But he had class, and he said, you can come tonight at 6. So I hopped in a car, and I went over there, and I fought my ass off. Really intense jiu-jitsu. Carla, it was a place called Pura Vida, BJJ. The head trainer there's name is James. There's another guy there named Nat. But I worked with James. And James, you know what? I need to find out James's last name actually, but James used to fight pro as well. So, crap, I'm blanking. I have his last name in my phone, but I'm blanking on it, sorry. Pura, P-U-R-A, Vida, V-I-D-A, BJJ. They also train Muay Thai there. So anyway, so I went there, and it worked exactly as I thought it would work. So I set this plan up ahead of time and said, okay, what can I do to meet people in my destination city? Jiu-jitsu, music. Those are the top 2 things, right? Those are the top 2 things that other people can do. Like, I'm not going to go into Thailand and try to book a speaking engagement as like a nutritional therapist, right? Just not going to do that. So jiu-jitsu and music. The other thing I could do is like gymnastics, because I do calisthenics training and rings and that kind of stuff, right? Could have found a gymnastics gym or something. But I tend to really like people who do jiu-jitsu. They're usually cool guys. So I go to the jiu-jitsu gym, we train, and it also helps if you're even decent at jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm okay at jiu-jitsu. I'm not fantastic at jiu-jitsu by any means. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're at least like above white belt level and can actually hold your own in rolling and sparring, then you're gonna earn respect the second you walk through the door, right? So I went there, got a few taps, got tapped a few times, awesome, cool. The next thing you know, I spend the next hour staying up late and just talking about just taking incredible amounts of notes, getting everybody's contact information. Oh, there's a presentation about Bitcoin with these digital nomads tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Okay, cool, I'll go there. Oh, we're doing a group hike on Friday. Okay, cool, I'll be there. On Sunday, we're gonna watch the TJ Dillashaw fight in the gym. We're gonna get breakfast and coffee and everything and watch UFC because UFC's in the morning here, which is crazy, right? Boom, there you go. Now we're looped in. Now I have somebody helping me find a long-term apartment, which is why I only booked a hostel for 3 nights. So I booked this hostel for 3 nights because I know that when I'm in town, I can get way better prices on a long-term serviced apartment than I could get online. It's astronomically different. A price might be literally twice as much online than it is if you just walk into a building and ask them what their prices are. So I highly recommend, if you guys travel a lot or plan on doing traveling or anything like that, think about what you're good at. It might be CrossFit, right? I talked to the owner of CrossFit Chiang Mai here. I'm gonna go visit CrossFit Chiang Mai at some point as well, and that guy seems really cool, right? So I'm probably gonna take him out for coffee, buy him a cup of coffee, pick his brain. Hey, and then the other things you get to find out is like in a place like Thailand, so James being an ex-pro fighter, and he's, you know, a muscular guy like I am, has all these little tweaks, injuries, all these little things. So I asked him, hey, do you have a great practitioner here for massage therapy and acupuncture? Of course he does. He has people that he swears by, right? So I'm in the land of massage in Thailand. So now I don't have any guesswork. I can go to a professional level athlete and say, where's the best place for me to go? And he literally said to me, in the time I've been here, I've tried from the cheapest to the absolute most expensive sports massage, and I have the people that I love, and I'll send you all the info. Boom. I don't have to guess, right? I don't have to guess. I don't have to guess what apartments are good in what parts of town, etc., etc. And I have a social life built in. There you go. So that's a little travel trick that you can use. But it can be anything that you're good at. Like, I have a buddy of mine that travels all over, and he does ultimate frisbee. He'll join an ultimate frisbee group on Facebook in whatever city he's in, and then say, oh, they meet in this park at Saturdays at 8 a.m. to play ultimate frisbee. He just shows up at that park and walks up. What's up, guys? Need an extra player? I'm gonna play ultimate frisbee. The next thing you know, he's got places to stay, he's got leads on apartments, he's got a social life. Boom, that's it, right? So cool little travel trick. But then I ended up just back at the hostel, and I'd had the only thing I'd eaten all day too was that cow soy. So I'm like living off these weird Thai noodles and then going and training jujitsu. So I was dead. So if you saw my post from last night, I found, and again, this salad concept place, this amazing place for organic salads with amazing meats and everything, was told to me by the head trainer at the jujitsu gym. He's like, oh, you're probably looking for healthy food. That's tough to find. You got to go here. Now I know, right? Because I'm going to eat healthy the rest of the time I'm here. Like, I'm not going to have cow soy again. It just didn't blow my mind that much. I'm going to eat Clovis. And I'm going to try to find a service apartment where I can at least cook breakfast for myself. Because for some reason, breakfast is way more expensive than other food here. Like American breakfast, omelets, eggs, bacon, that kind of thing is really, really expensive. It's cheap by American standards, but it's expensive by Thai standards. I mean, that amazing organic salad that I got last night, if you look at my Instagram or Facebook, I paid $4 American for that thing. That's ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Now, the pad Thai, I think I paid like $1.50. I mean, the cow soy, not pad thai. The cow soy, I think I paid $1.50 for that. Really, really, really cheap food out here, which is cool. But anyway, those are just my little travel hacks and tips and everything. So if you have something that you're good at, could be anything. Maybe you like to collect magic cards. Find a magic card place in the city that you're going to. Use it to your advantage. Okay, we've done an hour, which is crazy. It's really cool. I think I have this workspace. I think I paid for the whole day, which was like $6. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Carla, Pura Vida. Anybody have any questions? Anything you've been thinking about? Grounding works. I've used it for years and I've never had jet lag. Yes, it's really, I mean, people swear by it. So I've never done the grounding thing, but I have found that something like jujitsu, doing that really hard workout, I slept like a baby. But given that I had 48 hours really of virtually no sleep besides the sleeping on a plane like this, or 3 hours or whatever, then doing that training, it's like my body's screaming at me right now for sure. So hopefully get a better night's sleep tonight and just sleep a little bit longer, at least get some more hours in. So those are some travel tips and stuff. If you guys have any questions, if there's any newbies out there who are dealing with any Clovis stuff, questions about the approved foods list, questions about fat loss. I did have a good question about metabolic reset, because somebody had a really, really good week. Their first week of Clovis, lost like 7 pounds, which is super normal, as we know, and then went off the rails, ate like an asshole, right? So the concept was, I'd ask this person to stop working out so I can fix their metabolism. And then I said, don't think of this as a failure, right? You have to keep in mind, this isn't a 30-day fix. So just because you had a bad week, it's not that you're starting over. You must simply continue. You're continuing. You're not starting over. You've already put 14 days in, no matter how you look at it. But 7 of those days were shitty. Okay, doesn't mean you go back to day 1. It means you're now on day 15. You need to start making better decisions. But the question was, okay, she understood, but what if she wants to get back to working out? And I told her no working out for the first 30 days. These words, these terminologies that we use, I have to speak in ways that people can grasp. Okay, I'm not going to train for 30 days. So that means the next 4 weeks I'm not training. But what you're forgetting is you're probably going to check in with me at the end of that 30 days. On day 31, I'm going to find out some things about you. If I don't think you're ready, I'm going to tell you to do another 30 days of no fitness, just because we speak in those terms. I don't want to tell you, hey, you might not do intense physical activity indefinitely until I see the results that I want to see that let me know that you're burning fat and you're metabolically flexible. Nobody wants to hear that. See what I mean? So her question was, well, if I'm already 14 days in, 14 days from now, can I start exercising again? My answer was no, absolutely not, because we know that you have not achieved metabolic flexibility yet. I know that for sure. Thanks for the tips. I leave for India on Friday, and this was awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. The Onnit melatonin, that's a big one. Just get it on Amazon. I just got it on Amazon Prime. It was great. Grounding, look up Dave Asprey grounding. If you just Google like Dave Asprey grounding jet lag, I think he's got a lot of stuff about it. Like I said, I think Ben Greenfield talks about this as well. And that's what I did, and I feel pretty great. So I'll obviously see tonight. Maybe tonight at bedtime I won't be tired or something, but we'll see. AMA number that has tips for getting through detox. Oh Lord, there's a million of them. There's a million of them that talk about detox. If you go to Clovis.show, and search for detox, it might pop up, or you can search for sugar or something like that. The single biggest tip I can give you is electrolytes. Electrolytes. That is Redmond sea salt. That is number one. You have to get your hands on this product in particular. It's the only salt that I tell you to get, honestly, because it's just hands down the best. So this is Redmond real salt, and you need to get your hands on that. And you need to be supplementing 3 to 6 grams a day. So another great one is, I would show you, which one is it? Blood pressure, salt, and sex. I don't know the AMA number. If you go to Clovis.show and search blood pressure, it'll pop up. Use the search function on Clovis.show, everybody. Use the search function. It's extensive, it works wonderfully. So if you just search blood pressure, that's it. It's gonna pop up. Blood pressure, salt, and sex will be the first AMA that pops up. Watch that one because it'll tell you all the benefits of sodium, tell you about the electrolyte stuff. BCAAs versus essential amino acids. This could be its own AMA, Steve. So there are 9 essential amino acids. This means that humans absolutely need them for survival. Now, BCAAs are basically amino acids that can be used for energy. So when I say, like, you have 2 macronutrients, protein, and then you have fat and carbs that are energy. So you have protein macros and energy macros, even though there's 3 macronutrients. Amino acids can be burned for energy, but only a few of them. Not all amino acids can be burned for energy. So the reason why people supplement BCAAs, which is L-leucine, L-isoleucine, and L-valine. Also, L forms, the reason why we use L forms is because that's the form that the body can use. So you'd never see like an isoleucine supplement or a leucine supplement. It's always going to be L-leucine or L-isoleucine or L-valine, right? So people load these branched chain amino acids, and it's usually more leucine. They'll do like a 2-to-1 ratio, because leucine is the most readily used in the body as energy. Okay, so BCAAs are the amino acids that are most likely to be burned for energy. The essential amino acids are the ones that are required for human survival. So basically all plants, let's say, can make their own, all 20 amino acids. All plants can do their own things. That's why we eat animals that eat plants, because let's say a cow goes out, or a great example is turkey, right? People talk about turkey, tryptophan, and Thanksgiving, right? So that's an amino acid, right? But these turkeys are obviously eating vegetation or eating bugs or eating whatever, and we get tryptophan, and that's why people think you get tired on Thanksgiving. It's not actually true, it's just because you ate a bunch of sugar. But so that is one that people talk about, like tryptophan is notably missing from collagen peptides, which are in my products, right? But as you'll also see in my products, I supplement BCAAs in the pre-workout and the post-workout because those are the energy-producing amino acids. Does that make sense, Steve? So there are some companies who will do like broad-spectrum essential amino acids. Broad-spectrum amino acids in general, right? I believe that I think Ben Greenfield's doing it now, honestly. NutraBio, I think they do a lot of amino acid stuff. There are definitely supplements where you can get all amino acids. It'll just have like all the amino acids on the planet, just an amino acid supplement. But the BCAAs have gotten really popular in the fitness space, for sure. And obviously they help with muscle synthesis, for sure. Like they help you grow muscles. BCAAs will do that. And the other thing that it does is they're also muscle sparing. Because if you do something incredibly glycolytic, let's say, and you don't have enough glycogen to get you through that workout, you're doing like, you know, an AMRAP of like clean and press or something like that, or an AMRAP of snatches for time, or one of those ridiculous things, and you don't have enough glycogen to get you through that workout, when they talk about people stripping amino acids, that's stripping muscle tissue. Because remember, all your tissues, we did this with the Legos in the basics of human metabolism. Amino acids make up proteins, make up cells, make up tissues. So all your muscles are just made of amino acids, right? So if the body completely runs out, it can strip its own muscle tissue. So BCAAs are muscle sparing. As long as you have those BCAAs floating through your system, it's going to burn those before it burns up your own muscle tissue. So lengthy question, but you got my nerd brain going. I love questions like that. This is a stupid question, but I'll ask anyways. What do pigs eat in the wild? Everything. Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know what their actual normal diet is, because they will literally eat anything in captivity, including other animals. That's the other thing. I mean, there's videos online of horses eating chickens. Like, animals eat a lot of stuff. We don't really know the answer to that question. It's like wild hogs. Wild hogs are pigs. They're all the same thing. Like a wild boar is the cute little pink pig babe that you see. If you release that animal in the wild and go back in a year, it's going to be covered in hair and it's going to grow husks. A lot of people don't realize that. So pigs are pigs. That's what they are. And they tend to eat everything. Now, I believe they eat mostly vegetation because of the way they burrow in the ground and store. They'll destroy land. Overnight, they'll destroy acres and acres and acres of land. But I don't actually know the answer to that question. That'd be worth asking Diana Rogers. She would definitely know. I'll ask Diana. That's a good question. Diana also has a new article that she put out that Rob Wolf shared. I believe it's called Where Your Pork Comes From, or Know Where Your Bacon Comes From, or something like that. I believe it's on Rob's Instagram, but that's probably a good one. That's probably a really good one to find out about that. So if you search Diana Rogers bacon, or Diana Rogers pork, or something like that, I bet she digs into that in great detail. I think they eat bodies in the South, yeah. Snatch style, like the movie Snatch with Brad Pitt, the bad guy feeds all the people to pigs. Crazy. Say that again. Say what again? Not sure what you're talking about, Carl. But anyway, so I don't know if you guys have any other questions or anything for me before I wrap this thing up and go get some food and some coffee in my system, which is going to be wonderful, about the pigs going into the wild. Oh, yeah, so if you have a little babe pig and you put it into the wild, it's going to grow hair, it's going to grow husks. It'll basically become a wild boar. Really, really interesting. Other animals are crazy. Yeah. So that's the thing. People attach so much to animals. It really drives me crazy. Another reason why I get a little crazy about Clovis pets, like, hey, all your pets are wolves, which basically means that we bred and bred and inbred and inbred and inbred and inbred, and now you have animals that are basically, I don't want to use the R word, but it's basically they have mental problems, right? You have the equivalent of a wildly inbred animal on your hands. It's not smart, it's not intelligent, it can't survive in the wild. We took wolves and made them super dumb. I'll use the word here. It's essentially, your house pet dogs are essentially, it's mental retardation. It's really crazy. If you really think about it, that's what it is. All of your animals, all of your dogs came from wolves. If you put a wolf in the same room as your chihuahua, you got a bad day on your hands, for sure. But they literally are ancestors for all dogs that we have right now. They were just bred and bred and bred and made sicker and sicker and sicker, which is also another reason why we have these animals with these hair falling out, and their hair falls out and they sneeze and they have allergies and they need joint and hip replacements and they get cancer and they get diabetes. You ever see a wolf in the wild get diabetes? Nope, that's not going to happen ever. So it's actually quite torturous what we've done to these animals if you really think about it. And the same thing that people talk about pigs. Well, pigs are as smart as dogs. You shouldn't eat pigs because pigs are as smart as dogs. Plenty of people eat dogs all around the world. It's just a matter of culture. Are they wrong? Certain cultures won't eat cows, but we eat cows, right? We do this crazy thing where people just attach human-like qualities and traits to animals, and it's simply not the case. It's the same way if you look at bears in the wild, right? We give our kids teddy bears their whole lives. And then people feel bad if you shoot a bear. A bear will kill you immediately in the wild. It is not your friend like Baloo the bear from the Jungle Book. No, right? This crazy thing we do with animals. It's so funny. We see a little cute little babe. Oh, babe, it's a cute little pig. Why would you want to eat that? Because it's a wild animal and that's what it's here for, right? Who's going to piss test a wolf for diabetes? Trust me, they don't have it. You don't need to. Chihuahua, oh yeah, Chihuahua, a multi-poo. Oh goodness, I can't believe I said that word. I kicked my own ass for saying the word multi-poo. My Yorkie wouldn't survive 5 minutes outside. Exactly. Pugs. Lennox can probably survive in the wild, yeah. He's a savage. What's up, Kristen? I didn't even know you were in here. Yeah, I'd say my dog is close enough where he could probably survive in the wild. He had this thing where he just liked to eat bunnies for a while. He'd just shred up some bunnies. Loved them. Bring them in the house like they were a gift. Dropped a bloody bunny on my kitchen floor one time. It was pretty nasty. All right, guys. So we're going over what it's so funny because I don't feel it feels so weird because it's daytime out. I've never done a daytime AMA. I mean, I go live in the groups, which I want to do more of as well. So that's another thing. It took me a minute to get my phone figured out. It was really, really tricky here. Got a little bit of help from the jiu-jitsu guys, but really, really my phone was just, I couldn't figure out anything. I mean, it was to the point where I was walking around in the city, so I'd find like a coffee shop that had Wi-Fi and get like a little coffee or an espresso, and I would bring up my next destination, and I'd bring up the map on Google Maps for walking, and I would screenshot it, because I knew the second I was out of range of Wi-Fi, I had nothing. I had no service, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So then I would just look at the screenshot and look at the street names and just kind of use my phone like an old school map, and then I'd get to the next destination and find a little place with Wi-Fi and take a screenshot of my next destination, and that's how I walked around for hours and hours and hours yesterday. So it's better now, which is great. I now have a car service that can pick me up. It's similar to Uber out here called Grab, but I am going to actually rent a motorcycle or a moped, so I'll be able to get around a little bit easier. And it won't be so scary, because that was the thing, is I was trying to get live here by the time that I'm supposed to be live, and I'm waiting for this car, and I'm like, oh, so I'm kind of at the mercy of other people, so I don't like that. So I'm going to get myself either a moped or a motorcycle so I can just get to where I need to go. If one workstation doesn't work out, I just strap my backpack on, zip to the next workstation, get it set up. So the next time I really am going to have the ring light, I'm going to have the whole setup, everything that I need to really, really do this correctly, to do an actual AMA. And I can do, as you can see, there's a whiteboard there. All these co-working spaces have whiteboards, so we can get into some deeper stuff. I just obviously didn't have time to prep a deeper AMA for you today, given the 30 hours of travel time and getting used to a new country that I've never been to and don't know anybody. So there's that, So thanks for bearing with me. But I am here, didn't miss it. AMA number 44, travel tips from Thailand. And yeah, that's a good idea. Steve, obviously all the supplements I name are going to be in the show notes. So when I think about the supplement list, I don't really need to make a supplement list. I could, and I'll put it in an I Am Clovis or something. But this show notes, if you go to clovis.show, again, utilize clovis.show. I feel like you guys don't utilize that enough, and the search feature and everything. If you go to clovis.show and just click on this link, it's going to have a full list of all the supplements that I named, because I'm going to put it all in the show notes. If you haven't, go listen to the Rob Wolf AMA. Go listen, okay? I'm not the AMA, podcast. The Perfect Paleo Podcast with Justin Nault. Listen to the Rob Wolf episode. I really think, in terms of just learning the truth about human nutrition, it's one of the best podcasts I've ever heard. And I felt weird saying that the first couple of days, because I'm like, well, it's me. Like, I'm talking to him. That's weird. It's one of the best podcasts I've ever heard. Flat out. I don't give a shit, man. Yeah, I'm on it. Cool. One of the best podcasts I've ever heard. So you need to go listen to that. It's Rob Wolf on the Perfect Paleo Podcast. Rob with 2 B's, ROBB. It's an hour and a half long conversation. We touch on everything from childhood nutrition in schools. We touch on the Joe Rogan, the Joel Kahn, Chris Kresser vegan debate. We talk about the Lane Norton, Dom D'Agostino keto versus high carb debate. We talk about caloric intake, how to set your caloric intake. We talk a little bit about macronutrients. It's a fantastic, fantastic episode. You really, really, we talk about vegan, vegetarian propaganda, talk about average IQs in America, some really scary stuff there. The average IQ in America is actually going down because of nutritional practices. It's insane. Halfway through it, dude is ridiculous. Yeah, Rob is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And he'll mess us up in jiu-jitsu too, Steve. He's legit. It's crazy. I did, and it was fantastic. Sean, awesome. Thank you so much. Share, share, share. Copy and paste the link of that URL and share it immediately. Share it with all of your people. Everybody needs to hear that episode. That's a great introductory episode to the world of Clovis as well. They get to know that guys like Rob Wolf are willing to come into the Clovis space and have these conversations with me. Guys like Rob respect me. I respect guys like Rob. It's a great conversation. Understand that. I think there's still this kind of weirdness happening because of the way that I built Clovis. It was just, who's this random musician guy from Nashville? And then you understand that I've been hanging with guys like Rob for years, right? So it's really, really important to understand that yes, I am a random musician from Nashville, but that's how things go when mainstream is so fucked up that they can't get anything right, and guys like me have to set out on their own and do their own research and figure things out. That's why this happened, right? All right, so anyway, let's duck off here. So go listen to the Rob Wolf episode. Absolutely, 100%. You're going to love it. And this will go up live. This will go up as a podcast as well. So I'll get this podcast worked out. There'll still be an In Case You Missed It. I'll find a place to try to go live with the In Case You Missed It on Instagram. And the In Case You Missed It newsletter, that's going to go out live as well. So make sure that you're subscribed to the In Case You Missed It newsletter. I'll put a link in the show notes to be subscribed to the In Case You Missed It newsletter. Got some ideas for some Just Justin episodes. I do have my really fancy podcast microphone with me, but this one was kind of last minute. So I can set the microphone up. I can actually do podcast interviews from here still over Zoom and everything. So I have some interviews that I want to get lined up. Abel James podcast is going to launch. Dean Pullman from Manflow Yoga, that podcast is going to launch. A couple great things coming. So anyway, I think that's it for now, everybody. Let's duck off, and I will see you guys a little bit later on. Maybe I'll go live or something when it's your morning time, which will be my nighttime. That's all I'll probably do. Maybe I'll go live in the groups tomorrow morning, which is actually tonight. Weird, right? Super weird. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I am Justin Nault on mute since I've been in a meeting, but I just want to say enjoy your trip. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I will see you guys later. This is AMA number 54, travel tips from Thailand. Holy crap, guys, I'm in Thailand. It's crazy. I'm going to be here for like a really long time. I love you guys. Have an amazing day, night. Have an amazing night. I'm going to go have an amazing day. Okay? Coffee, food. Love you guys.